Hey guys, it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays, and it's my favorite time of week. Time for our rapid fire NFL picks. It's Thanksgiving week, and hopefully we give you a few winners to go with a lot of good food this week. And if not, maybe some good information to base your bets on. We've got Craig Trapp joining us. Craig, we're starting with Raiders at Falcons. The Raiders are -3 at this one, total of 55. Las Vegas, of course, coming off that last minute loss to the Chiefs. And then the Falcons laying an egg against the Saints 24-9 in a loss. Who do you like here?
Looks like what I call a rat line, which is when it looks too easy to be true, it usually is. So I'm staying away from the side in this one. I do think the Raiders win and cover, but anytime you think a line's just too easy, and that's the case in this one, it usually is. I mean, the Falcons looked really, really bad against the Saints team without Drew Brees. I think the Falcons offense bounces back this week, and that's a key in this over. I think the Raiders they've shown their balance, their ability to run the ball is as good as any team in the league, and then they play action pass off of that. And Derek Carr is having one of his best years ever. I like the over 55 here. I started at 56 down to 55. I liked it at 56, so I love it at 55.
Yeah, Derek Carr has been looking like a man possessed, both figuratively and literally, if you've seen some of the memes. But I like the over in this one as well. Two offenses capable of putting up some big numbers, and then two defenses capable of giving up some big numbers. I like the over 55 as well. Raiders totals have gone over 55 in 8 of 10 games this season. And one of those was that really bad weather game in Cleveland, one of those games that went under. So we've got both defenses bottom 6 in yards per play. And then it just seems like this Falcons offense, they can be really good when they're facing bad defenses, and the Raiders are one of those defenses. Let's go over 55. Moving on to the Chargers and the Bills. The Bills are -5.5. The total is 53.5. LA is 3-7, Buffalo 7-3, and in the driver's seat when it comes to the AFC East. Craig, who do you like, or what's the play?
A little shocked that this line went down. It opened at 6, now at 5.5. Maybe some people are sleeping on this Bills team, but I mean, the Bills have just been very, very good at home. 4-1 straight up, 3-2 against the spread. Maybe it's the Chargers. The Chargers, as underdogs this year, have been much better than when they're the favorites. So, but to me, I think you have to look at the Bills here. I just think this Chargers team has found ways to lose games too many times this year, and I'm gonna not worry about this line movement. I want to take the Bills at -5.5, but maybe not one of my favorite plays of the week, just because the line movement moving down. I just was a little shocked with that.
Yeah, it seems like despite some really good numbers from Justin Herbert, fading Anthony Lynn has been a really solid play as of late. The Chargers have not covered in 4 straight games, but a big trend in this one. Both teams a combined 15-5 to the over this season. 7 straight overs for the Chargers. Yeah, this number is a little high at 53.5, but I think I'm going to take another over. I know, how original, Chelsea, another over, but I like it. Let's move on to the Cardinals and the Patriots. Cardinals -2.5. The Patriots, oh, excuse me, the total is 49.5. Both these teams are coming off a loss here, the Pats to the Texans, and then the Cardinals scoring under 30 points for the first time in 5 games in that Thursday night loss to the Seahawks. They've got a little extra rest. So do you like the Cardinals on the road here, or do you like the Patriots or a total?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see come Sunday what this the weather looks like, because it would probably be really helpful for this Patriots defense if it's really cold, maybe windy, to make Arizona more of a running team than a passing team. But the dual threat of Kyler Murray's been really, really tough to stop. And the Patriots defense, they had no answers for the Texans last week. I mean, Watson looked like MVP type Watson last week. And to me, I think you have to take Arizona here -2.5. But I would watch the weather here. If the weather starts getting really cold, then I'd probably switch to the under in this one, because I do like the under as well at 49.5. But I think I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals -2.5 as long as the weather is at least solid and not super, super cold or super windy.
Yeah, for me in this one, the Patriots really need to run the ball to be successful, more than just about any team in the league. In 4 wins against the spread, they've averaged 205 yards rushing. In 7 against the spread losses, they've averaged 117. So last game, they lost more than the game. They lost their running back, Rex Burkhead, who reportedly tore his ACL, and also their starting left tackle, a very important position when it comes to the O line. We're filming this before the injury report, so keep your eyes peeled for Isaiah Wynn, but I don't think that they're going to be able to run the ball as effectively as they need to for this offense to get firing. I like the Cardinals as well, -2.5. Moving on to the Chiefs and the Bucks, a good one here. Chiefs favored on the road, -3.5. The total is 56. Oh man, two great quarterbacks, but the Bucks seem to have the edge defensively, even though I say that every time. But their defense, got beat against the Rams. So, Craig, who do you like in this one?
Well, two disappointing things that came out of that loss at Monday Night Football with Tampa Bay. One, we've seen and everybody has all these stats. Well, Tom Brady after a loss. Well, let's remember, almost all those stats pretty much came in New England with the best coach of all time, and of some really good parts around him. It's just like they've put all these pieces together at Tampa Bay, but they just don't fit like a well cohesive unit yet. Maybe that might happen next year, but it's just not happened this year. The other thing I've been disappointed about is that Tampa Bay defense was supposed to be one of the top 5 defenses in the NFL. And LA is not an explosive offense per se, and they just did whatever they wanted, marched up and down the field for the most part. So if it wasn't for a couple turnovers, I mean, they might have put up a 50 burger against Tampa Bay. So to me, I think you have to take the Chiefs -3.5, but it also is a little nervous here. I always think road teams after Thanksgiving, it's a little worrisome. Obviously, you'll be away from your family and on the holidays and that kind of stuff. So to me, I think the better play is going to be on the over 56. I just think that Tampa Bay defense, they might allow 40 plus in this one, and I think that pushes this way over. The safer of the two plays, let's take the over 56.
Yeah, it looks like the Chiefs are the obvious play here just because the Bucks defense has let me down every time I've talked them up. But I'll probably do a money line parlay with the Chiefs and probably the Packers our next game. I know that's kind of a cop out, but that's what I'll probably be playing. So let's move on to our next game, Bears and Packers. Packers are -8.5. The total is 45. This is Sunday night football here. Packers 7-3, 6-4 against the number. Bears are 5-5 straight up and against the spread, despite the most decrepit offense I think that I've seen in a long time. They do have some extra rest, but I don't know if that solves their offensive issues here. So, Craig, who do you like?
These teams obviously big rivals, and the disappointment in Green Bay has to be what after the hot start, the first 5 or 6 games. I mean, Green Bay has just been so. They really haven't shown. It's like they try to just turn it on in spots and turn it off in times, and that is a tough way to go about winning and covering when you're having to lay more than a touchdown here. So to me, I think you have to play, even though I know this Bears defense has really been the only positive point that's game in, game out. The Chicago offense has just been kind of non-existent. I do think the Packers, I mean, they allowed a bunch of points to the Jaguars. They weren't good. I think the Bears will do just enough in a division game. Give me the 8.5. I think the Bears keep it just close enough, probably lose 6 or 7 points and get a smooth cover here.
Yeah, man, this is not a game that I love picking just because that number is really high, especially for a primetime game, especially for a divisional rival. But I'm not putting any faith in the Bears, and especially with the offense.
No.
My goodness, that's terrible to watch. Aaron Rodgers does have some good numbers against the spread after a loss, 25-13-1, good for 65%, but that's a big number to cover. I think I will be staying under the total here just because I don't think the Bears offense is going to get going. It's a little bit of a easier matchup with this Packers defense that has not been very good, but I think the Packers will want to run the ball if they're ahead. So I like the under, I suppose, if you made me pick, which we're doing. But that's going to do it for our rapid fire picks here on Picks and Parlays. As always, thanks for tuning in and best of luck.